Hello, welcome to AnnexedDinnerTable. I'm Cassandra, and today we're going to be opening up Red Rising, the collector's edition from Stonemaier. I'm super excited about this one. I love board games based off books and have those kinds of ties from them, and so this one really fits into that, and so I'm really excited to see what they did with it. Well, let's jump right into it and see what's inside the box. So the artwork is pretty nice. You've got all of the colors and it just screams colorful and intriguing, and yeah, that's what I got. So we got a rule book, full thing. It's got this really nice like matte finish, and you can kind of like run your fingers over and it feels nice instead of that like shiny finish that a lot of them have. But we've got overview, goal, the components all right on the front page, and then setup takes up 1 page, gameplay starts on 2, and then we move into cards, locations, house tiles. End game is page 6 and 7, and then the last page is just like a little how to play thing for rules, getting you to some, other videos of theirs. So yeah, super simple. I will say, I feel like that's something that Stonemaier is very good about, simple rule books and, 10 pages or less to really get you going into that game as quickly as possible, which I definitely appreciate. Then we've got the solo rules with Atoma, and again, super short. Setups on page 2, and then going into page, still on page 2 and 3, we've got what the Atoma is doing and scoring on page 4, so super simple. We've got baggies, which I appreciate because, you can never have enough baggies. We've got a punch board that has the different characters it looks like, most of them based on like gods. And then we've got a board and a nice little cover. Keep everything locked in there. So if you're storing your games vertically, that's super nice. We have a scorecard. A really nice die. It's so big and gorgeous, and I love it. It has the little like rounded corners. Then we've got some jewels, these red jewels. We've got a crest that feels like it might be like a first player token or not, because as I pull out this next one, looks like we've got maybe another one. And then just some other cubes. They feel really heavy and nice in this big stack, and they all have that nice little like shine of metallics. And then, there was a hidden thing. Some cards hidden in these. I think these are the Atoma cards. Moving to more cards. We've got a couple decks in here. It looks like 2 decks in here that we will open up in a second. And then this nice little holder. It doesn't have anything in it right this second, but it can. And then locks right in place. Then the last thing in the box are these little card holders for each player, and it looks like it matches their cube color. So yeah, not a whole bunch in here, but still I'm super excited to look at the artwork on those cards and take a little bit of a closer look at the boards and stuff. So let me open it all up for you. So these are the components all broken down and opened. We have the board. It's fairly small, which I kind of like because that means it's going to have a little bit less table presence possibly, but you can play it on a smaller table. You don't need your kitchen table. You could play it on an end table or something of the like. Take it to a coffee shop, So that's always really nice to be able to take it places that aren't your own home where you have your wonderful large table. So in the center, we have this, and it feels like it just fits right there, which is super nice. So as you're playing, things are maybe going to go in there, or maybe we're going to take things out, but, you know, I haven't gotten there yet, but we will. I will. And then we'll move on to cards. There were two different decks. Ooh, I thought I had sorted them. We had the standard gold one with the pyramids, and then we had this one. This is for the standard game, and this one is the Atoma deck. So, you know. And these cards have like a name. It's got what their like title is. So this is Green Programmer, and then it's got the artwork and two different little actions that they're taking depending on if they can take two. Some only have one, and then up here it's got victory points, I would think, with that laurel wreath. And so there's a whole bunch of different ones, and they're all with the different colors. So I'm intrigued if I will eventually pull them out and sort them based on color, or if you just get to have some, you know, wonderfully variety in your own deck. And then, so that's those ones. And this deck is really large, so that was just first pile. And then we go into this larger one. This one with the gold has this great little like gold leaf feel in there for those elite cards. Really makes them pop. These ones also have a little bit more, because on the side it's got looks like different characters and colors, stuff like that. So that could be interesting based on what it is. Yeah, some more. But they all follow the general guideline of the same thing. And as I said, there are plenty of them, lots of variety. Look at the Atoma ones. So we just have, you know, some standard A, B, C, Ds and what you're doing with them there. And then if you're on your even or your odd turn, some little helpful cards to help you with it. And then just the Atoma cards of what they do when, you know, I don't play a lot of solo games, so I can't tell you much about what they are, but this is what they look like. And then the last cards we got were player helpful cards. So you got your turn overview, what the iconography means, setup, and end of game. So one in each color. We then have the little who you are type ones. So you've got Mars, and they're all going to follow the basic. You've got your name here, you've got your little symbol, and then like your little special power, and then a separate symbol on the bottom for what you can do. So, and we have Mars, Jupiter, Apollo, Minerva, Diana, and Cres. So 6 players, which is a great number. I very rarely play games with more than 6 players. Really, I normally cap out at 4. But the option is great. Next, we have these two like gold ones, fake gold, not real. And it feels like these are going to be like first player or tracking rounds or something. This one's like the moon, and then this one is a little bit more substantial with this like, reminds me of like wings on airplane people. And it has like the filigree at the bottom plus that this pyramid in there. So really nice, and they're heavy. I think that's definitely something that's standing out to me with all of the like metallic like pieces, is how heavy they are. Even these like cubes and the little plane for each player, they just have some really nice weight that I'm really enjoying. It's like, why do you get metal coins? For this reason. And we had those same 6 colors. We had the yellow, the blue, the purple, the like bronzy goldish color, red, and green. And you know, there weren't that many cubes. I want to say there were 10. Yeah, 10 plus the little plane. Then the last thing were these little red cubes, or they're like jewels which were actually a little bit, I want to say, disappointing because they are that plastic instead of the nice heavy weight of that metal for everything else. But, you know, only some things can have that weight, and those are definitely a more awkward shape to make it. But yeah, it definitely was like, wow, you have these really heavy, nice pieces contrasting with these just like plastic bits and things. And then again, the little things for your cards to hold them. So putting it all back into the box was fairly simple. All of the red plastic cubes I put in here as I stole a look at the rule book and saw that they were supposed to go in here during game. And then this really does just lock in there, like those aren't going anywhere. There are little indents in here for the smaller Atoma cards, and then I put the larger Atoma cards in there also. Don't know where, but I swear I did. Somewhere. They're there. They exist. And then I put about half the other deck in here just because it probably can all fit in one, but it would be really tight and kind of overflowing a little bit, and I didn't really like that, especially if you are ultimately going to sleeve your games. They're definitely not going to all fit in one little section. And then all those little player powers had a nice little slot on this side, and that other half of the game cards went in there with the little player helpful cards in there. The card holders went right back in there, fairly simple. And then the player tokens, that moon, and the dice had little slots available in there. And then I put the little player pieces in these little divots. The scoring card right on top of that. And then you have this nice little plastic piece that goes over that, kind of locking it all in. Into there, there's a little divot for the board, and then the rule books live right on top. I will say the insert is extremely nice. It definitely is able to hold the game without needing all those bags. Everything has a spot and there's space for sleeved cards, but they also gave you everything in bags and a couple extra bags in case you don't like the insert and want to throw it out, or in case you just want a little more security and like those player pieces not moving around, you can easily put them into the little bags that they came in, and then they can go into their slots again, and that just gives you a little bit more security, especially if you're possibly storing your game vertically instead of horizontally. So that was what was in the box of Red Rising. I'm super excited. I mentioned that I really love like IPs based on book series just because I love to read and love to see what they can create out of books. I've not read this one, which is totally on me because everything that I hear about it just makes me want to read it, but I don't think that I will have time to read even the first one before I get this to the table. And yeah, but it seems super exciting. I love how compact it is and that it's not going to be a complete table hog, especially as, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I am not at home, and so I have a much smaller table to work with. So yeah, that's super nice and super excited to see how it plays, especially at those higher player counts. 6 players is a lot, and that range of 1 to 6 is also very large, so I'm super excited.